निधाय हृदि विश्वेशं विधाय गुरुवन्दनं बालानां सुखबोधाय क्रियते तर्कसङ्ग्रहः विश्वेश्वरं साम्बमूर्तिं प्रणिपत्य गिरां गुरुं टीकां शिशुहितां कुर्वे तर्कसङ्ग्रहदीपिकाम्. So I hope till here we are now clear. Most of you should have revised and or we at least remember what and all we have done. We have come through a big paragraph which talks about multiple vadas, etc., which was right after the Dravya Lakshanam, which was here. Dravya was defined, then Lakshana Lakshanam was defined, then Purvapaksha, Aparapaksha, for all that, and many other concepts we came across in this important part of the Grantha. Then we went ahead, we classified Guna, then we classified Karma also, and we discussed till Samanya. We have to move to Vishesha, right? We finished Samanya, we have to move to Vishesha. The Dvividha Samanyam we have seen. And Samanyam does not exist. As we remember, in the 7 Padarthas, Samanya exists only in the first 3 Padarthas. Starting from Samanya onwards, it does not exist. So, in Dravya, Guna, Karma, the Samanya exists. In Samanya, Vishesha, Samavaya, Bhava, it does not exist. That is what it means. Okay. Till there we are. Next. Nitya Dravya Vrittayaha Visheshas Tvananta Eva. Vishesha is such a thing that exists in the Nitya Dravyas. Only in Nitya Dravya. Where does it exist?
So, what is Vritti?
Vritti means something, existence. Nyunadesha Vritti is only given, no? Nyunadesha Vritti, Adhikadesha Vritti. That which exists in a smaller space, that which exists in a bigger space. Here space is more kind of metaphorical kind of space. That which exists in Go is Nyunadesha Vritti. That which exists in all animals, Pashutva, is Paradesha Vritti. This is Aparadesha Vritti in that way. It can refer to any Dravya, Karma or Guna. Especially when you refer to Guna, it does not mean a space as such, because all Gunas you don't really consider as space. It's only metaphorical. That which exists, that's why Aparadesha Vritti. Desha here refers to that your enumeration of the substances, kind of Desha.
It is understandable that Samanya doesn't exist in the other 4 things. But when we say Samanya doesn't exist even in Samanya, would it be like a contradictory statement?
No, how? Why should I see? Let us say a pot is there. Can you say pot exists in pot? Pot exists on the ground, not on the pot. If you say Samanya exists in Samanya, then there will be infinite regress. It will be an infinitely illogical statement. In that Samanya, where does that Samanya? Again, it will exist in that Samanya. And it will go on and on. Samanya is a single Padartha. No, when you are talking of Samanya, it is actually something, it is something that exists in multiple Dravyas. At least 2 should be there. Hopefully. Maybe you can give a Jati to a single Dravya also, some unique Dravya you can. Singleton class. So,
But when we say Param and Aparam, is there a commonality between the Param?
that's what. That commonality is either Gotva or something like that. It is not the Satta Samanya. So, Samanya is only one. You are dividing it into multiple things. Yes, you can. So, in each of that Samanya will be there. But it is not, Samanya will not be there in Samanya. You can classify Samanya in multiple ways, but they will all come in under that universal set only.
So Gotva doesn't exist in Gotva. Gotva exists in a
Go,
which is Dravya.
correct. Something like that. So, Samanya exists in Dravya, Guna, Karma, all 3, but it cannot exist.
We say Gotva as a Guna. Why do we say Gotva as Samanya?
That somewhere else there will be a discussion.
This question is like it's a para and apara samanya. Both are samanya.
Correct.
there is some Veda also. One is
It is only that Deshavritti. It is only that limiting factor.
What is the commonality between para and apara?
The Samanya is the common factor. That is, see, that is only a way of distinguishing. No, so this whole thing is Samanya. Let us assume, not in this way, but Samanyam. Okay. Now, under that you have Dravya, Guna, Karma. Dravya, Guna, Karma. Under each of this, you can have multiple this way, this way. You can have all intersecting, overlapping sets. You can have. These three are non-intersecting. But under each of the Dravya, you can have intersecting, non-intersecting sets. You can have. Now, when you take this is Aparadeshavarti. This is a little Paradeshavarti. Adhikavarti. What is the commonality? The Dravyatva is commonality. On the whole, the Samanyam is there everywhere. You can't say Samanyam is common only for these two. Samanyam is Samanyam. So this is only a relative. When you say Param Aparam Cheti Dvivitham Samanyam, it is actually infinite in that way. It is only relative to one, the other is Aparam or Param. But there is Param is only one. At the absolute peak, there is only one Param Samanyam. Beyond that, there is nothing else. But Aparam or Param, you can keep coming. To Dravyatva, this is Dravyatva is Param, Gotva is Aparam. In Gotva can be Param, something, a set of one species of cows can be Aparam.
Satyajati is para Samanya. Rest of the things.
Aparam Samanyam. Correct.
Satyajati Mittunna, it will come under Dravya, Guna, Karma.
Yes, that is only.
But Aparam Samanyam, you have seen for others means
For everything else.
everything else is which is Samaya, Vishesha.
Oh, everything else means I mean within Samanyam. See, Samanyam and Jati are very similar concepts. Okay. So, Samanyam is actually equal to Satta Jatihi. For now, we can keep like this. There might be technical differences, but you can say Samanyam equal to Satta Jatihi. Everything under that is, so that Satta Jatihi is Param Samanyam.
Biggest set.
Biggest.
Biggest. Okay. Okay. Infinite set.
Param Samanyam. Okay. It is the biggest. It is the universal set, no doubt. Everything other than that is Aparam Samanyam. Because everything is smaller than that. Every other Samanyam is a subset of that.
Can you tell Paratamam, Parataram?
No, Param itself is. You can say, why not? But that is what it is. Understood, no? Samanyam. Next, coming to Visheshaha. Vishesha is the next Padartha. The fifth Padartha is Vishesha Padartha. And these Visheshas exist only in Nitya Dravyas. First, they exist only in Dravya. First, you have to understand. And even among Dravyas, they exist only in Nitya Dravya, not in Anitya Dravya. Most of the Dravyas we deal with every day are Anitya Dravyas. They are made up of something and they will get destroyed also. But there are some Nitya Dravyas. How many Dravyas are there totally? 9 Dravyas are there. Among the 9 Dravyas, the Akashadi Panchaka are always Nitya Dravyas. Okay. That is kind of. Huh? That is a later definition will come. But for now, it is Nitya is always existed. Just keep it like that. Something that never gets destroyed. You could say something.
Even Atma.
Atma is Nitya. Nitya only. That's why Akashadi Panchakam. Now you have to enumerate the Dravyas again. Tell all the 9 Dravyas. No, you have to tell in the same order. Manam, see. Prithivya Tejo, Vayu Akasha, Kaladiga. The order is important because they will refer to it like this. Akashadi Panchakam means Akasha, Kaladik, Atma, Mana.
Oh, that.
Akashadi Panchakam does not mean 5 bhutas. You should not get confused. Because it is Gantha, it is referred to in that order. So, Akashadi Panchakam means Akasha, Kala, Dik, Atma, Manas. So, these are the 5.
For them, Tejas, etc. are Anitya Padartha, but Akasha alone is
Nitya Padartha. No, Nitya Dravya.
Sorry.
Yeah, Padartha also, but Dravya. It is a Nitya Dravya. We will come. They also have Nitya parts, but not everything. No, obviously, Tejas is not Nitya Dravya. You light the fire goes away. No, how can you call it Nitya? What part of it is Nitya? That is there. Okay. So, Akashadi Panchagam are simple Nitya Padarthas. Akasha, there is only one. Kala, there is only one. Dik, there is only one. Atma and Manas, they are infinite, but they are also Nitya.
So Manas is also Nitya for
Yes. For Nayayika, Manas is also Nitya. Okay. All these are Nitya Padarthas. Another definition of Nitya is anything that is Vibhu or Anu is Nitya. Either they have to be Vibhu, all pervasive, or they have to be Anu, atomic. Manas is atomic, Anu. That they will have other ideas for that. Okay. And Manas goes, it is only not active during sleep. It goes into the Purisha Nadi and then stays there and then takes rest there. In that Anu form, it is there. So these five are Nitya Dravyas, Vishesha is there. In the other four, Prithvi, Ap, Teja, Vayu, these four are whatever we see in Sthula is made up Padartha, made up Dravyas. But all of them have Paramanu Rupa. Those Paramanus of each of this are Nitya Dravyas. They are Nitya. All those Paramanus are Nitya. Prithvi Paramanu is Nitya. Jala Paramanu is Nitya. Or Ap Paramanu. Teja Paramanu is Nitya. Vayu Paramanu is Nitya. And these Paramanus are again infinite in number.
They are Padartha.
All are Padarthas only. Dravyas only. They are Dravyas only. Yes.
In Dravyas, which category they will come under Akasha category. Akasha Paramanu means it will come under Akasha.
Akasha does not have Paramanu. Akasha is Eka. Only the other four have Paramanus. So Prithvi Paramanu will come under Prithvi. We will immediately come to definition. Next is we are going to deal about Prithvi only. So we will deal with it there immediately now. Correct. Panchikarana, not in this sense. See, there in Panchikarana also we say Vayu comes from Akasha and then Tejas comes from, only after the five are formed we talk of Panchikarana. This process of one coming from the other is not Panchikarana. But for the Nayayikas, all five always exist. Yes. So Panchikarana can be done, maybe. That concept can be applied. But Vayu emerging from Akasha or Tejas emerging from Vayu, they are all Paramanu Rupa. In this
Why is it divided from Akasha to because if you just see, because it is Vyapta everywhere, all pervasive, then Akasha and all is okay, Kala Dikti is okay. But Man you told is in Anurupa.
Correct. Mana is Anurupa.
But Prithvi, Apteja, why it's also, you told that
their Anu also, they can be, the Anus can come together also. In Manas and Atma, that will not happen. Manas and Atma are Anurupa, but they will remain as Anurupa only. They will, two Atmas will not come together and form something else. Two Manas will not come together and form something else. Whereas two Anus of Prithvi can come together and form something else. They will still form Prithvi only, but a different form of Prithvi or with different characteristics can happen.
So Akasha to Mana, they are individual.
Akasha and Mana are individual, yes. They are infinitely many and always individual. Yes.
Okay. From Prithvi to Vayu, they can be individual or they can be
correct. When we define them, you will understand why that particular order is very important. So the first simple thing is, the first four are not Anitya Dravya. See, they have Nitya and Anitya parts. They have both parts. The next five are always Nitya. So that way Anitya Nitya split. Then there is a Vibhu and Anu kind of split. Those three are Vibhu. Akasha, Kala, Dik are Vibhu. I mean, they are all pervasive. The others, so the first four have Anu and Anu parts. They are not exactly Vibhu. You cannot say they are Vibhu. But they have Anu parts which form up something. But the last two are only Anu. They cannot form up at all. So like this, a lot of thought has gone into that particular order. There is Murta and Amurta classification and many other classifications.
Kala, Dik are Vibhu as well as Anu.
No, only Vibhu. That's all. That's all.
And the first four has both Vibhu
Which itself is kind of contradictory because everywhere is part of Akasha and Dik and every time is part of Kala. Okay.
I was thinking the same terms of Atma.
So the first four.
The definition of Vibhu is different, that's why. Anyway.
First four is.
It does not take space and time into consideration at all. The actual definition for Vibhutva.
So first four will be having both Anu and Vibhu.
Not Vibhu. They have Anutva and Mahatva. Mahatva is the right.
What is Panchakarna?
Panchikarana in Vedanta is a concept where these 5 bhutas are there. How does creation come about? We don't see the original Panchabhutas anywhere. For example, in our everyday this thing. During creation, they first are created as separate Panchabhutas. Okay. Then the for example, let us take water. The water that you see today as water is not only Jala. It is 50% Jala. The remaining 50% is made up of 12.5% of the other 4 bhutas. 12.5 will make up the other 50. Like that, every bhuta that you see is half of its original Tanmatra bhuta plus the other. That is called Panchikam. So it's a mixing up of all the 5 bhutas. That's what it means. That is a Vedanta Mimamsa kind of concept that I don't think the Nayayikas agree with that kind of Panchikarana, because they have a different creation process, which I will show you. Because we are talking of Paramanus here, maybe I will define the Paramanu here itself. The Paramanu is something that that cannot be further divided. Okay, that cannot be further divided, but has the same qualities as that particular Dravya. And just pause it. I'll take this column. So, Paramanu. The definition of Paramanu is that is the most indivisible part that is there of these 4 Dravyas, Prithvi, Ap, Tejo, Vayu, which cannot be divided further and has all the qualities. It cannot be divided further at all. That is the whole concept of Paramanu. And there are some logic as to why there should exist such a particle which cannot be further divided. So that concept which is no more divisible is called as Paramanu. So let us say there is some Paramanu, Prithvi Paramanu, that is like this. Okay. Prithvi Paramanu. This is there. Let me say Paramanu. Okay. Now this Paramanu together with another Paramanu will make something called as Dvyanuka. Dvyanukam. 2 Paramanus put together make up a Dvyanukam. Okay. 3 Dvyanukams put together make a Trenukam. Okay. Now you know the pattern. 3 Dvyanukams. 3 Dvyanukams. So this is 1. So 1 into 2. This is 2 into 3. Next is 3 into 4. Okay. That will make a Chaturanukam and so on. Chaturanukam. And so on. This is how it goes. 3 into 4, 12 will be there. So this is how the basic creation of anything happens. These 2 are Anu. They have Anutva rather. Anu. That is, they cannot be seen. Anything that cannot be seen is Anu. Here is where Mahatva begins. From here on, all of them have Mahatva. Here onwards. Now, usually in Granthas, you will see that fine dust particle which you can see when the rays of sun come through a window. That is the Trinukam, etc. That is the kind of idea that is given. Anything smaller than that is Dvyanukam or Paramanu, etc. Those are not perceptible by eyes, but as a concept they exist. Okay, Dvyanukam and Paramanu. Paramanavaha. That's all. Okay. So this is the place we are seeing. Prithivyadi Chatushtaya Paramanavaha Akashadi Panchakancha Nitya Dravyani. These are the Nitya Dravyas. Prithivya Chatushtaya means Prithivya, Tejo, Vayu. These 4 the Paramanus and Akashadi Panchaka, these are called as Nitya Dravyas. So all 9 have Nitya Dravyas, but the first 4, the Paramanus only are called as Nitya Dravyas. Now what does he mean by Vishesha? So this Vishesha is again the concept. They have told speciality here. Now there is one Prithvi Paramanu and there are infinitely many Prithvi Paramanus like this. What is the difference between this and this? How can you differentiate?
Position.
Huh? Position they will keep changing, no?
That is the difference. This is a difference.
What if they exchange position? That Paramanu remained that Paramanu. This did not become that.
Okay, you are asking the difference in terms of
inherent difference between this and that. There is no quality. Both of them have same quality. Both of them are Prithvi. All the gunas that they will have are same.
Then there is no difference.
There is a difference. No, you know that difference is called as Vishesha. That's why I am coming to the concept.
The difference is because of position only.
No, why you? Because of, that's why I am asking. If you exchange the position, that particle did not change. They were in this position. Let us say one at this corner of the table.
Pens, let us identical pen. This pen and this pen.
Correct.
Two different
pens. Yes.
How do you know there are two different pens? Because of two different positions.
Not only because of two different positions. This pen is different from that pen. No.
Okay. How do I say that? Because of.
Well, how do you say that? That's what I am asking.
Don't show the other pen. First time I just showed it to you and then I kept it back.
Yes.
And then suddenly I bring which is which pen.
That's what. I am not telling you have to find out the difference.
Okay.
But there are two things that are existing and there should be something that separates both of them.
Okay.
They are not the same object. They are obviously two different dravyas.
Okay.
What is it that causes them to be different? That's all. I am not saying you have to be the knower of the difference.
Okay.
It's not like you have to find out between identical twins. I am not telling you, but they are different. That is what. That is the Satya, no?
Okay.
They are obviously not the same object. It is not due to time or space or position or something you are saying. They are two different things.
Okay.
And that difference is called as Vishesha, that's all. That is why Visheshaha to Anantaha eva. Each one has this called something as Vishesha. Something, you cannot call it property, a characteristic, because then you will think it's a guna. It is not a guna. It is that thing called Vishesha that exists in them, which helps you differentiate one from the other. I am only saying, to clarify it, I am saying differentiate. But it is that thing that exists in it. Okay, that's why he has given, instead of speciality, he has called it as particularity. Because that is particular to that thing.
So this particularity,
I can tell what it is or we cannot tell what
It is particularity is what you have to say. See, till today we have not come across this concept, so you feel like you have to define it with other words. The particularity is the word. If I ask you to define red, how will you define?
I can't define.
There is no definition. That is red. The shirt you are wearing is red. That's all. But is the shirt is different, red is different, or if you ask? Because we have come to understand what redness is, we can easily talk about that. Similarly, now you have to slowly understand this concept of Vishesha, that particularity concept.
so is particularity a guna?
It is not, no, it is a separate padartha. If it was a guna, it would have come under guna. Rupa Rasa Gandha Sparsha, there it would have been the 25th guna.
Vishesha is a what?
Huh?
Is a Dravya.
Though, it is a padartha. It is a separate padartha by itself. That's why in English I don't want to say it is a quality, it is a characteristics, all this. It is particularity of that object, that's all.
We talk about what is red.
Huh?
We talk about what is red.
Red is a guna. Red is a guna.
Based on guna only we can differentiate.
No, that's what. You don't need you don't differentiate based on guna, no. Two Prithvi, no. Both of them will have their Prithvi definition. Prithvi Lakshana will be there in them. We'll see the Prithvi Lakshana soon. Gandhavati Prithvi. Gandha is a guna. Both of them will have that same guna. Both of them will be same shape, size, everything. All the other gunas related to them will be same.
The Vishesha is the relation like Samanya. Let's say I have the pen. If I don't have any other pen, will this pen have the penness? So if I have only one pen in the existence, then this pen have the samanya
of penness. Yes, yes,
right?
yes.
So then samanya.
Actually, if the pen does not exist, also penness will still exist. Let us.
Because Samanya
know about the pen.
That's why leave alone us knowing. All the parts in the world are broken. Ghatatva will still exist. No, even now, let us in our own. That's why that day I took this example. Dodos became extinct. No more dodos, but dodo-ness exists. Now you know. If I talk about dodo, you know. How do you know? Because dodo-ness exists. That is, you cannot show it in any padartha now. But that samanya still exists.
So Vishesha is with a relation like samanya.
It is not a relation. It is something like samanya. See, samanya is that commonality. Vishesha is something like an opposite particularity. That which brings about the commonness is the samanya. That which differentiates is vishesha.
Samanya bhinna.
Everything, all the other 6 padarthas are samanya bhinna, no? Whenever you say samanya bhinna, it could be any of the other 6 padarthas.
No. Give us an example for a padartha.
Padarthas cannot have it. It is present only in nitya dravyas. So you have to understand this only as a concept.
Dravya, can you give me what is guna? Example of a guna and the example of a vishesha.
There is no example of vishesha is the padartha. There is no classification within that. In guna, I can give you 24 examples. In vishesha, I cannot give you example. That's all. This is the example. That's all it is. Because it is there in every nitya dravya.
It is what makes it.
Kind of, yes.
It is what makes it different from.
No, it what makes it it. That's all. That is also a very good definition. Because it is not other. It is it.
That's the difference from the other thing.
If there is only one padartha, let's say now we know, like now we are, in this premise there are 7 padarthas. If there is only one padartha, is there is no 7 padartha. Typically, if there is only one padartha, then vishesha will dissolve. Right?
See, if there is only one padartha, vishesha is one of those padarthas.
No, I'm telling only one padartha.
That is what? How are you going to define that? Which of these are you going to keep as that one padartha? You have to conceptualize one whole padartha, something like that. So then you will have to define that padartha. Only then we can talk about whether it is same as vishesha or different from vishesha, etc. You have to give lakshana for that padartha. Lakshana he gave at the beginning. He has given lakshana of padartha to abhidheyato.
Particularities are innumerable, then it means that there can be multiple infinite number of paramanus.
There are infinite number of paramanus, not only can be. That is accepted. Prithvi has infinite, Jala has infinite. Each of these 4 bhutas have infinite paramanus. Similarly, Atma and Manas also have infinite. Each of these have Vishesha. How do you differentiate one Atma from another Atma? I can ask the same question. I am asking this question of differentiation because it is easy to understand the concept of Vishesha, that's all. That is not the be all and end all of Vishesha.
Infinite Visheshas also.
Yeah, that is what. Visheshas, every dravya has Vishesha. Each of the Nitya dravya. Not this dravya. This dravya does not have Vishesha. The Paramanus present here have Vishesha. Each of them have Vishesha. This cannot have Vishesha. This does not have one single Vishesha. If you want to differentiate this from this, you have to differentiate it in terms of the Paramanu, the Vishesha present in the Paramanus of both.
Is Vishesha also one of the things which separates Naiyayikas from Vaisheshikas?
I don't know. I don't know the answer. You can find out the answer. Vritti means that which is present. With that which is present in the dravya. Nitya dravya vritti. Like adhika desha vritti, like that vrittaya. Vritti means, vartanam means to exist. No, the vritt dhatu itself means to exist. That which exists in that nitya dravya. So it exists only in nitya dravyas and it exists in every nitya dravya. That's all it is. So you have to make sense of this. Nitya dravya vritteyaha visheshaha tu anantaha eva. Next. Samavayaha tu eka eva. Okay. That's simple. Samavaya, there is no, you cannot talk of Veda in Samavaya, etc. There is Samavaya is only one. That inherence is only one. We talked about what is inherence also, we'll see. We'll see it later also, and whenever it comes, we will take it up. Samavaya stveka eva. Now we come to the abhava part of it. Abhavas chaturvidaha pragabhava pradhamsabhava utyanta bhava anyonya bhavascheti. There are only 4 types of abhavas. They are this, and this. There is not much in the Deepika here because it will be explained later. We are going to take up abhava. By the time we come to abhava, we will be at the end of the grantha. Grantha will end. Abhava will be talked about, grantha will end. No. Now he has only classified. When he actually describes abhava, grantha itself will end. There are only 7. That's adalla will come in between. It will come in between. Because when you come to buddhi, the guna buddhi, there all this has to be explained. So that's when he will go into pramanas. And then he will come back. The grantha has begun now. It has said there are 7 padarthas. When you enumerate 7 padarthas, you should be done with the grantha. Many of these granthas have this type. So the 7th padartha, when we come to the abhava padartha, we will end the grantha. There are some special notes after that he gives, just other discussions, but the main discussion will be over. So we have already seen that antecedent and destructive negation is quite easy. Pradhamsa bhava and pragabhava are quite simple to understand, that which exists before and after. Anyonya bhava is also straightforward, that this does not exist in that, that is not there in this. Jar is not a cloth, cloth is not a jar. I am not you are not me, simple. Okay, anyonya bhava. Atyanta bhava is the difficult concept here. Atyanta bhava is absolute negation. That bhutale ghato nasti. Bhutalaha ghata bhavavan. This bhutala is that which has the abhava of ghata, of the jar. This atyanta bhava is always existent. It never goes away. It is a nitya padartha. It is not a nitya padartha, it is a nitya padartha. It is always there. This table has the abhava of books, if I say, it is always there. Even when the book is present on that, that abhava is there. When the book is present here, okay, you are only not perceiving the atyanta bhava that is already there. It is covering the atyanta bhava that is there.
Abhava of what?
The atyanta bhava of the book there. See this, what did I say? Table pustaka bhavavan. Okay. This, let us say, now, table pustaka bhavavan. Okay. Table pustaka bhavavan. It's always going to be like this. Now when I bring this pustakam here, what happens is that
Pustaka abhavavan of table is now become abhava.
Is that also you can say, or you can say that it is covered. You are not able to see that abhava of the pustaka on the table currently because the pustaka exists.
Okay.
But that abhava exists. Only that you are not able to perceive it.
So at any point of time, there is abhava, then atyanta bhava is there. It doesn't matter how it is there or not.
Correct.
Atyanta bhava is nitya padartha.
Atyanta bhava is a nitya padartha.
Nitya padartha as in it has existed before, it is existing now, and it will exist
Yes.
further, right?
Yes.
But book is there now, but before it was not there.
At that time that abhava existed, no.
But now it is not there. Then how is it nitya padartha?
It is very much necessary as a concept. See, I also do not have very convincing answer. I did some research also, but I have still not got the end convincing answer. But it will come somewhere in Udgat. I will do some more research to get to it. But this is what it is. And maybe we will get to he will discuss this when we come to Abhava. There will be more discussion on this in the Deepika itself. But here again, I think we have to understand it as a concept, because if we do not agree that Atyanta Bhava always exists, there will be logical fallacies elsewhere. And hence they accept this Atyanta Bhava is a Nitya Padartha only. Yeah. I don't know how to put it in other ways. There is a connection between this Praga Bhava, Pradvamsa Bhava also appear because Atyanta Bhava appears there. Something like that. I'm not very clear in my communication. And see, Praga Bhava itself you can say only after this Pustaka comes here. Or else you cannot talk about Praga Bhava. Because Praga Bhava comes once that if you do not, if you don't know the Pratiyogi of the Abhava, you cannot talk of Praga Bhava. Similarly, of Pradvamsa Bhava also you cannot talk. Okay. Right. Before the existence of the book, you cannot talk of Praga because you do not know that the book is going to come into existence or not.
The example you give was when you remove the book, you say Atyanta Bhava is there. That is Praga Bhava.
That's what. So I think, I am not sure, but I think they posit this Praga Bhava and Pradvamsa Bhava as kind of emerging from Atyanta Bhava. Not classification of Atyanta Bhava, but something like that. It could be like that.
The presence of Praga Bhava and Pradvamsa Bhava, if we have to explain, with respect to its Pratiyogi. So they created some Atyanta Bhava so that we can.
Atyanta Bhava also you have to tell with Pratiyogi. Pratiyogi Jnanam vina Abhava Jnanam na siddhyati. You cannot say random Atyanta Bhava. Of what only you have to ask next immediately. You cannot just pass it on Atyanta Bhava with no Pratiyogi. That is not possible. That is why Atyanta Bhava you should not assume like this rabbit's horn is Atyanta Bhava. Not like that. That is not Atyanta Bhava. That is Brahmatmakam Jnanam. That is. There is no such thing as a rabbit's horn. So you cannot even imagine of such a thing. See, I will try to get this because I did some. Where did this go? Here it is. Okay. I did some analysis in notebook 11. If you can read this, but I have not got a very neat answer. Let us say this is the question I have asked. Hold even when there is jar. Why does it hold? Atyanta Bhava is defined as a relational absence that exists across all three periods of time. That is how its definition itself is. That it exists in past, present and future. That is a Samsarga Bhava. That is, the Samyoga of the Ghata and Bhutala does not exist. That is what you mean by Atyanta Bhava. Samsarga Bhava, he is saying. And it is Traikalika. Okay. Its Pratiyogi is there. That's what this definition, I am not sure how to understand this definition. I am sure he has it somewhere else in Tarka Sangraha. When we go there only, we have to understand what is the Tadatmya Vyatirikta, etc. Okay. Let us go through these points 1, 2, 3 to as much as possible. Okay. One is it is Nitya. Nitya first we have not even. The other thing is this non-existent. This Atyanta Bhava does not move. It is not that because I brought the book onto the table, the Atyanta Bhava got up and went away somewhere.
So does that mean defining this Atyanta Bhava with respect to the Abhiyogi, not Pratyogi?
No, you always need a Pratyogi. How can you define it only with respect to Aniyogi?
Whatever the Pratyogi is, for this Abhiyogi there is Abhava of any Pratyogi. That is the Atyanta Bhava.
Yam kamapi Pratyogi, then you have to say. No, you are not exactly defining with respect to Aniyogi. In that way, you can put it the other way also. Not only on the floor, on the table, on my head, everywhere there is Atyanta Bhava of the jar. You took the floor and said whether it is jar or camera or anything else, there is Abhava there. You can put it the other way also. No? You can keep the Pratyogi constant and keep changing the Aniyogis. Then also Atyanta Bhava will remain. So whichever Samsarga you take between Pratyogi and Aniyogi, whether it is Bhutala, Ghata or Shiras and Kesha, whichever you take, there is always Atyanta Bhava. That is the concept here. Okay. Even though the jar comes there, that is, even though the Ghata comes there, that Atyanta Bhava does not move or go anywhere. Okay. So, Akasha Bhava might not be possible. There is no problem with Abhava not being possible. But if you talk of Akasha Bhava, Akasha is the Pratyogi. Kutra Akasha Bhavaha, if you ask, there is no place for you to say. So that statement becomes difficult. Huh? Like that you can kind of say, yeah. That is Anyonya Bhava, which is an Abhava. Gune Akasha Bhavaha, it is.
Right.
In that way you can say, no, Akasha is a Dravya. Dravyasya Gune Abhavaha. That itself understand. That way Abhava. So that's why again Abhava is not a concept of place or time or something. It is more a concept of concept only. So as he says, you can say the Akasha Bhava in Guna, Dravya, Karma anywhere. Only in Dravya you cannot probably say. That's all. Okay. So when there is a Samyoga between the Ghata and the Bhutala, because that Samyoga is existing, the Pragabhava and Pradvamsa Bhava are absent. Both Pragabhava and Pradvamsa Bhava are absent. But because Pragabhava and Pradvamsa Bhava are absent, that is why you are able to cognize that the Bhutala is on the ground. It's coming with a convoluted logic. You are able to see the perceive the jar on the ground because Pragabhava and Pradvamsa Bhava are not there. And Atyanta Bhava is being veiled by this contact. Because that Samyoga is present, it is not that Atyanta Bhava is moves away or is gone or something. No, that it is there. It is only apratitihi of that Atyanta Bhava. That's all. Once the jar is moved away, again you get that back. Okay, so that is where we are. Yeah, maybe some other Udgranthas. Which one? Again, I don't think you can say Eka. It should be Aneka. Depending on Pratyogi and Aniyogi, it will be that Abhava. Every Aniyogi Pratyogi pair. Every pair has its own Atyanta Bhava. That's how we might have to understand it. The Anuyogau Pratyogihi Nasti. Abha Pratyoginaha Abhavaha Asti. Like that, if you have to say. That's how we might have to put it. Okay, anyway, Abhava will come at the end and discuss a lot more. Here, very simply in Deepika, I have read Abhava Vipajare Pragabhaveti. That's all. With that, it is complete. Okay. We'll just read this Moola and pause for today. Section 2, we are starting with the section 2 only in terms of this book, Ramakrishna. In the Grantha, there is this not section 2. It just continues. Tatra means where? Dravyeshu. Okay. Dravyeshu. Because now all the 7 padarthas have been enumerated. Now you start again with Dravya you start, then come to Guna and so on. So as we say, it's a breadth first. We saw padartha, 7 padarthas done. First level of taxonomy done. Now second level again. We saw what are the 7 padarthas. We saw what are the 9 dravyas. Now each of those 9 dravyas will be defined now one by one. Among those 9 dravyas, first dravya is Prithvi. So we are coming to Prithvi. Tatra Gandhavati Prithvi. Sadvividha Nitya Anitya Cha Nitya Paramanu Rupa Anitya Karya Rupa Punastrividha Sharirendriya Vishaya Bhedat Shariram Asmadadinam Indriyam Gandhagrahakam Ghranam Tacha Nasagravarti विषयः मृत्पाषाणादिः. Next 4 definitions will go along the same manner. Okay, the lines will be very, very similar for each of the definitions, so we will get a whole idea. Just I will we'll see the literal meaning of this later. Next class we will go into the Deepika. Gandhavati Prithvi is the Lakshana. First statement is the Lakshana of Prithvi. What is Prithvi? That which has Gandha is called as Prithvi. Gandha is the guna, so that guna, Gandha Gunavati Prithvi ityartha. That which has this Gandha as its guna. So whatever Dravya has Gandha is Prithvi, is a part of Prithvi. Now this Prithvi can be classified into two parts, two ways of two parts. So what? Sadvividha, Nitya and Anitya. Nitya is Paramanu Rupa. We have seen what Paramanus are. So Paramanu is one part of one kind of Prithvi. The other is Karya Rupa. When you Karya means always effect. When these Paramanus join together and create something, that is the Anitya part of Prithvi. Anitya Karya Rupa. Okay. Punastrividha means a different kind of classification. Okay, not a subclass. It is a different kind of classification. That is one kind of classification. Nitya Anitya. This is a different kind of classification. Sharira Indriya Vishaya Bhedat. Sharira, it could be, Prithvi could be in forms of a Sharira, it could be in forms of Indriya or a Vishaya. How does it come in the form of Sharira? Like our Shariras. All our Shariras are, whatever Parthiva Sharira we call, all these are Prithvi Sharira. What is Indriya? That which captures this Gandha, that is the Prithvi Indriya, which is not nose, that Indriya which captures, that's the nasal olfactory sense. Olfactory sense is a Indriya Prithvi, and that exists at the tip of the nose, he says. That's an Asagravarti. That is one Indriya. Then Vishaya. Whichever is the Vishaya of this sense, whatever is the object of the sense, all that is Vishaya. So, for example, that Parthiva Sharira could be Vishaya to me. So, my Sharira is Sharira. His Sharira could be Vishaya to me. So, it could be anyway. In that. So, Sharira, Indriya, Vishaya. This is one way of classification. Everything, Mrit Pashana, he has given. Mrit means mud, Pashana is rock. All these are Vishaya. So, it could be Sharira, Indriya or Vishaya Bhedat, Trividha. That's all, no? That is the simple, this thing in the Tarka. That is the Moola of Sangraha. Deepika is a little more longer here. Might take 1 or 2 classes depending on our discussions.
Prithvi is made of kind of combination of Nitya and Anitya. In that sense.
Classification.
Classification is it is made up of two.
No, you cannot say made up of. No, see, it is made up of only Paramanus in that way. If you take all Paramanus, that is the fullness of Prithvi. Paramanus are the building blocks of Anitya. That's why they are called Kali Rupa, and they are built up like this. Anything, let us say this table is a Prithvi Vishaya, and it is also a Karya Rupa. So it is an Anitya Prithvi, it is a Vishaya Prithvi. Like that one. So under both kinds of classification, you will be able to put any object that you take into. For example, Sharira is a Sharira Prithvi, and it is also Anitya Prithvi. Only Paramanus are Anitya Prithvi.
I can say that something is, in a sense, how the definition of Sharira then you have to become.
Yeah, that whichever has Atma will become Sharira.
Oh, that way.
You could define like that. That's Karya is effect, that which is produced. Karya is produced. Karya Rupa. That which is produced, that which is not already existent, not naturally existent.
He's not always
Huh? Mostly Karta will be there. In these cases, Ishvara is Karta. For creation, Ishvara is Karta. Wherever you don't find... till now we have not defined Ishvara, but that's okay.
just to understand.
No, you don't think, because I also don't know answer.
Is an empty set Atyanta Bhava, because I have an empty set and I have put some numbers in it, but still that empty set has emptiness in it.
Again, for emptiness, you need a Pratyogi. You tell me what is a Pratyogi for your Abhava, that's all. Whether it is whichever. You can't have, no? Where will you have? The first Purva Bhaksha itself, we are gone. Where will you, do you know that 8th Padartha or not? Well, then we will start again. If you know, then if you know, then how can you talk about it as Abhava? If you don't know, then how can you talk about it as Abhava? Same. If you know, it is not Abhava. If you don't know, you need a Pratyogi for Abhava. So you cannot have Padartha Bhava.
They don't have classified Ishvara in any of the...
It will come. It will come under Atma, no? Atma, Paramatma, Cheti. There is a classification. Paramatma is Ishvara. Atma is of two kinds, Atma and Paramatma. Paramatma is single entity, Atma is infinite entity. Everything you can imagine of should come under Padartha. Not only deal with, imagine, whatever you can imagine should come under Padartha somewhere or the other. Or else it is not. If it is only imagination, then it will come under Manas only. Or else you cannot imagine. See, when we say a rabbit's horn, it's only an example. You cannot imagine a rabbit's horn. You can imagine something on rabbit's head, but there will be a deer horn or a cow horn or some other horn. Whatever you have seen only it will be. Or whatever somebody has drawn and shown you. Because such a thing as rabbit's horn does not exist, you will never be able to think of it. That is why Abhava requires a Pratyogi. You can never posit something that is absolutely non-existent. Like a Vandhya Putra, etc.
I was confused with that.
That's right. It is not that. Without a Pratyogi, you cannot think of the absence of that thing. It is only non-existent. Like, again, there is no words for that. It is only Anirvachaniya. Nidhaya hridi vishvesham vidhaya guruvandanam balanam sukhabodhaya kriyate Tarka Sangraha Vishveshwaram Sambamurtim Pranipatya Giram Gurum Tikam Shishuhitam Kurve Tarka Sangraha Deepikam.